There is a famous saying by Solomon that this too shall pass. People use this saying a lot. They put it on t-shirts, on phone wallpapers, they post it in their Facebook profiles to remind themselves and their others that at some point bad time shall pass and the perspectives for something better will open up. However, what do you do if that saying terrifies you to the depths of your soul? What if you can't imagine anything worse than this passing? What if you've already experienced something important, something you wish to last for eternity passing and you just don't want to feel it ever again? What if you would rather stay but everything, everyone begs you to go? In other words, what do you do if you have a past that you wish to get back, even though it's impossible? And what do you do if you do not envision a better future for yourself? Because all the best things already happened to you, and you can never experience them again. Hello, I'm Lisa, and in this video I just wanted to make a small character analysis about Sasuke in Season 1 and explore one of his strategies, to which I can relate a lot. This is the tragedy of having a past. Something you loved with all your heart and something you will never ever have again. Afterwards, Uchiha massacre happened when Sasuke was about 6 years old. His past life got erased and he had to adapt to new reality, but he had no wish to, as he left his soul and his heart during that bloody night. Sasuke pretty much became an adult overnight. He gained a serious goal of revenge and he was ready to sacrifice everything for the sake of it. He was not interested anymore in playing games, tracking off, connecting with his peers, as all of it just seemed like a distraction. Instead, he chose to train a lot to make sure his shoulders are strong enough to carry all the weight Itachi has put on them. This was probably one of the reasons why Sasuke had so much trouble connecting to anyone in the academy, as mentally he was older than his peers and way more traumatized than them. So he was not interested in normal child's behavior. Instead, he wanted to grow up as fast as possible and avenge his family. However, this desire to grow in strength and power stumped his emotional development, and he only got his first friend upon graduating from academy. We can even see that in the beginning, Sasuke despises Naruto because he thinks Naruto is just another child, which does not know anything about the real world. Yet he soon warms up to Naruto as he finds out that Naruto is similar to him. Naruto also has a bunch of trauma, and he also knows how to set goals and fight to achieve them. But once Sasuke realizes that Naruto, very much like Sasuke, is a fighter, they bond over it. Sasuke also expresses frustration that Sakura is not like that. She prefers to go after Sasuke over than training. And when he tells you that, he probably expressed the frustration he had with kids in the academy, who were way more interested in communicating with each other and just living their happy childhood lives, while Sasuke was drowning in his own drama and he could not understand why do we care so much about so unimportant things when the only truly important thing is to become stronger so that you can protect the ones you love. On the day Sasuke lost everything, Itachi told him that it was because Sasuke was not strong enough. And Sasuke carried this guilt throughout all of his teen years. He was ready to do everything, even sacrifice his own life in the Land of Waves arc, just to get rid of that guilt, to get rid of the feeling that he cannot protect anyone. And it is Itachi's voice telling him that he's weak and he is a coward, which persuaded him to join the fight with Orochimaru in the Chunin exams. Yet, in the end, Sasuke realizes that he is still too weak. He could not protect his friends from Gaara or Itachi later. Thus, he decides to sever his bonds with his friends because he believes he is too weak to protect them, so he does not deserve them. He doesn't want to experience the guilt of people dear to him dying because he could not protect them again, so he decides to not have the people who are important to him until he becomes strong enough. Allow me to go on a tangent here and talk about one of the cool things Naruto anime does, which is what traumatized teens, especially in the original Naruto, use fights and competitions as a way to communicate with each other. We can see how Sasuke and Naruto bond over their training and rivalry with each other, as well as bond over fighting alongside each other. We can also see that after fighting with them, Naruto can understand Neji and Gaara better. The same goes for Sasuke. He knows way more about Rock Lee and Gaara after fighting them. This is a great narrative tool from the anime standpoint, because it allows the anime to show us the fight while simultaneously opening up the characters. I also think it works great for the psychology of the anime, because those traumatized children are used to hiding their emotions and to pretending to be strong all the time, and they only allow to let themselves go and be who they are during the fight, as they were told that their value depends on how powerful they are. And this is also the reason why Sakura's feelings in season 1 were not mutual. Sasuke could not love her because he couldn't relate to her. Sakura was not a useful ally in a fight, neither was she a good rival, so Sasuke could not fight alongside her or against her, plus he couldn't understand her, the essence of her character. In one of the few fights where Sakura actually does participate, in the Forest of Death, Sasuke finally pays attention to her and avenges the guy who hurt her. Unfortunately, Sakura does not follow that path. Afterwards, Sakura does not participate in any more fights in any significant manner. Sasuke switches his interest to Naruto, with whom he can actually compete and come up with new strategies for their battles. On the other hand, Sakura doesn't need to fight. She was not traumatized as other people in her team and in our teams. And she can actually express her emotions, she can talk about them, she can tell Sasuke that she likes him, and even when she does not express her emotions outward, she uses small, nice and peaceful gestures, like offering Sasuke food. Yet he cannot understand it, since for him world is all about power and strength. Camaraderie and love for Sasuke both are created and sustained by the battle. With unhealthy communication patterns, as well as other problems with socialization, and Sasuke in general being traumatized, all came from his past. Yet, there was way more in his past than rivers of blood. There was actual love, family, training with his older brother, gaining recognition of his father, and warm moments with his mother. And he cannot just let it all go. Even though every time he wants to think about it, he can only think of death and blood, he still tries to hold on to that past, as he feels that he did not get enough of it. His childhood was violently taken away from him, and he never wanted it. He never actually outgrew it. And he never emotionally developed past it. It was not him abandoning his family as most teens do during their teenage period. And it was not his family abandoning him either. It was a member of his family, betraying him and everyone else and ruining his life forever. Yet, Sasuke also cannot let go of the memories of Itachi training with him and caring about him. Instead, Sasuke holds on to Itachi as the last strand of his family, the last strand of his childhood, the last strand of something he still needs up to this point, even though he's grown up now. That's why he took Itachi's words to heart, he remembered them, and even after about 6 years, he still hears his voice inside of his head. Even though he claims to hate Itachi now, he never stopped idolizing him and basing his life around him, because who else does he have other than Itachi? Yet Sasuke knew that neither Itachi nor anyone else could resurrect his family. None of them could give him his life back, and that was the only thing he ever wanted. Because he could not get it, he decided to not really dream about anything. Even in his introduction, he says he does not have a dream, he only has a goal, which of course shows how determined he is, and how he is mature enough to set goals and strive to achieve them. Yet it also shows that he does not envision any happily ever after for himself. The difference between a dream and a goal is that a dream gives you happiness even if you never achieve it. But just pursuing a dream is already enough. And even if you do achieve your dream, you can still live it and be happy, hopefully forever. Yet the goal is a carrot near your nose, which you strive to achieve. And the more you strive, the more hungry you become. You can use any means necessary to achieve the goal. And once you have accomplished that, it becomes irrelevant. You need to find a new goal, a new reason to live, because you just don't know how to be satisfied. That's why Sasuke's descent into darkness was easily predictable. He simply sees no bright future for himself, so he's willing to use himself as a tool for revenge. Because of the guilt Itachi instilled in him, Sasuke just cannot view himself in any other way than a tool, a person which must overcome everything, even himself and his own desires, to reconcile something from his past, something he never was guilty for in the first place. Yet, even after his goal is achieved and Sasuke will try to resurrect his plan, he knows what he can never get with things he lost back. The first memories are always the most precious, the safest. They feel like home. And once your home was turned upside down and collapsed in front of your eyes, how can you ever feel safe anywhere? How can you ever allow yourself to laugh and be vulnerable if you can expect to disappear in every moment and you will be the one to carry the blame of being unable to protect the ones you love? Sasuke, as opposed to Sakura or at that point even Naruto, has a past. Good things actually happen to him, and he knows that they will never happen again. Sasuke has a past, and nothing in the current time can replace or even come close to substituting what he had lost. That's why Sakura could not keep Sasuke in Konoha. She offered him her love, she offered him everything she had, but it was simply not enough. Since Sasuke knows that he would exchange an eternity with Sakura for just one day with the ones he lost, and there is nothing Sakura can do about it. So what else could he tell her other than, "Thank you for trying"? I relate to Sasuke's tragedy of having a past but being unable to connect to it, as you know that it is gone forever and you think that it is partially your fault. Personally, I really love Sasuke as a character and relate to him because I myself moved from Russia to Canada to study and subsequently live here in Canada. Yet, Canada only feels 99% real for me. There is always something missing. Even in the happiest, brightest moments here, it just doesn't feel the same. I know that most likely I will never come back to Russia, and realistically, objectively, I don't want to come back. Yet there is this voice inside my head, always planning, always calculating and hoping for something to change in the next 10, 20, 30 years. Sometimes I still see the dreams of my family being home again in Russia, in the summer house we long ago sold, with the family members which are no longer with us, and I never want to wake up. And even when I do wake up, every sound, every smell, every picturesque landscape only reminds me of Russia, and sometimes I wish that I did not have those memories, when I could actually hope to have something better in the future, when I wouldn't know that all the best things have already passed. But if I don't remember all those things, no one will remember what happiness. And I believe this is the exact same thing which makes Sasuke fight every day, because he has to keep the memory of his clan going. Someone has to remember that happiness and try to recreate it for future generations. Even though Sasuke seems to be rather healed in the end of Naruto and in the beginning of Boruto, he is satisfied, yet is he actually happy? Is he 100% happy? Does he still not miss his family every day? Does not he mourn for the feeling of safety, the feeling of the whole weight of your world not being on your shoulders? The feeling that you are allowed to commit a mistake and know a mistake? The feeling that you can fail as many times as you want because you have a safety net? This living when you're not allowed to make a mistake, it pushes Sasuke as teenager towards rash decisions, so that he can make sure he never has to lose a battle. He has to make sure he's always powerful because he has to struggle even for a basic feeling of safety. And I can relate to it a lot. Sasuke is my favorite character from Naruto because of his tragedy of having a past. And the saying that this too shall pass consoles a lot of people, gives them hope for a future, yet it terrifies me. For me, it only means that the future is going to get even worse, and I'm going to lose even the small crumbs of happiness I have now. So I prefer the Nietzschean idea of eternal recurrence, which postulates that everything shall return, and it will keep returning forever and ever, which means one day I will be a child again, and I will be happy for the first time, again and again. I will have nothing to compare that happens to, and that's why it's going to be absolute, without any regrets or guilt. The ultimate tragedy of having a past is because you can remember how happy you were, but you have no way to enter that state again. And I know that if given a choice, Sasuke would still choose to relive all his childhood memories, even if it meant reliving the Uchiha's massacre again, because someone has to carry those memories, someone has to experience those things, and someone must remember what it means to be happy. The thought that this too shall pass does not console me, and probably would not console Sasuke. Yet the thought that this too shall return gives way more consolation, as it gives you hope that one day you might not even be yourself, but you'll be happy and safe again. And then everything will be fine again and again and again, eternally. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Like and subscribe, and leave your opinions about Sasuke, his character, his tragedy in the comments below. Goodbye! See you sometime soon, because everything shall return, and so will I.